I want to get your perspective, first of all, on the story around those numbers. I think there's clearly some cost pressure there. Turnover up about 12%, profits only up about 8%.
Well, clearly you're right. The turnover is up, but we find out that there's a lot of pressure on cost because the price of wheat went up for most part of the year. But we're also happy that our subsidiary, Honeywell Superfine Foods, is contributing also to the improvement in turnover. As far as the flour business is concerned, we've reached almost a peak of capacity, but we're happy to note that we're at this moment making an expansion, and that expansion should be ready by about September. Yeah. You know, that we can have a big revenue boost.
I know that expansion was a big plan for this year. I know it was initially scheduled to happen in the first half, but now you're saying that it's likely to finish in September.
It will finish in September.
All right. Okay, but what about the high margin business and the expansion into that front? Because over the last year, we've seen a movement in that direction. It's a greater percentage of your turnover. We're seeing the pasta business, the noodles business, driving hopefully a growth in margins. Tell us more about the progress on that front.
Well, we are making very good progress, I can assure you. The noodle business is expanding. It's been accepted by the people. It used to be Indomie for noodle. Now everybody knows Honeywell noodle. Not just that, everybody also knows the jingle on telly, and that has helped quite a great deal to move that kind of business forward. And we're very happy with the progress that we're making.
But everybody talks about Nigeria's potential, Nigeria's prospects as an economy is growing at under 7% right now. Some pressure in the first quarter. We saw GDP down to about 6.17%. Talk to us about the impact of this slowdown on your business.
Well, first of all, on the GDP, we need to be very, very careful. A GDP of 7% appears to be quite high, but you'll discover that it's really on retail business. Manufacturing is yet to pick up, and until manufacturing is growing, we're not going to have a real growth in our GDP. But again, because when the food business for population is growing, people have to eat. We also offer convenience food for people. From our pasta, from our noodle, flour, pastries. So that helps our business. And we expect that we can continue to do well.
Okay, and then give us some guidance looking forward. What do you expect in 2012?
Well, 2012, for us, that will be 2013 results.
Yes, I know your year end is March. 2013, we're looking at this fiscal year.
Yeah. For 2012, well, we're already halfway the calendar year, aren't we? Halfway is behind us. For 2012, we remain very optimistic. Like I said, a new plant is coming on stream, so we're going to see quite a boost in turnover. Our plant is 62% of existing capacity. The new one is a 62% growth in capacity. So we expect a lot of turnover increase. Earnings will go up quite a great deal. Profits may well be affected by wheat, but we think that from the trend that we see the wheat going, maybe it's all going to work very well, that we're going to show very, very good results at the end of the year.
What's your, if you can put it out there, what's your base case for profits in 2013, as you put it?
I don't want to make any major guess right now. For this year, we've made a profit after tax of 2.7 billion, which is an 8% growth over last year. We can expect to do something well above 3.5, nearly 4 billion profit in the coming year. But it's too early to make such a guess.
I imagine that your business is quite national. Of course, you're based in Lagos, but you distribute across the country. To what extent has all the disruptions caused by the terrorism attacks had on your business? Because some people are alluding to the fact that it's not too disruptive. I mean, Ministry of Finance to some extent says most of Nigeria is working. But then on the other hand, there are some other companies like PZ who have already given some profit warnings or some warnings around their performance as a result of the impact of this terrorism going around Nigeria. To what extent has it impacted on your business?
Well, it's clearly impactful. But you know, the problems are segmented. So in those parts of the country where we have the biggest issue, we certainly have seen a decline in performance. But we have carefully moved business to other parts where there is less trouble, even to other parts of the north that are safer. So as far as our business is concerned, it's going very well. We continue to operate today at well over 90% capacity utilization. You cannot find that in any flour milling business in Nigeria. We operate at high volume capacity, and also efficiency is very, very high indeed. So, good promise.
All right, and we look forward to seeing the impact of your restructuring around all the problems that Nigeria is offering investors today. But a point I want to also touch on is the ports. Clearly, you do a lot of business around the ports.
We're in the port.
You're actually in the port,
We're
exactly.
In the port, yes.
And the Ministry of Finance also has alluded to the fact that there's been a lot of reforms in that space. The waiting time for clearing is massively reduced. Just give us an update. Since you are actually operating around one of the ports right now, to what extent have things really changed in your
The biggest challenge for us for most of the year was traffic, to turn things around, to move our products from out of our factory, which is located within the port, to the customers. For many months of the year, it was a big gridlock. But I thank our customers that despite the problems, they still came day after day, week after week to take products away. But let me commend Lagos State government. In the last 3 weeks, they carried a major operation, removing all the trailers from the road. So the Tinkan Island port area is relatively free today. Relatively, we haven't achieved where we should be. So things are moving faster, goods are moving faster, traffic is moving faster. In terms of your question as to time to clear, that is also improving. So we can look forward to improvements in those areas.
I recall that last year, I remember it was in the first quarter that the problems with traffic around the port was something that actually impacted on your
significantly.
So it's great to hear that things have
is improving. What we are waiting for, let me quickly say that the federal government is constructing a trailer park within the Tinkan Island port. If they can just complete that, which is a very great idea, that all trailers will now have their park, and they don't come into the port until they are called into the port. But work on that trailer park has slowed considerably over the last several months. I don't know what the problems are, but if government can just conclude that, then the port will be one very, very lovely area that everyone would like to.
Yeah, you talk about trailers, and it just brings up the problem we have in Nigeria. The railways are not working, so everything simply has to move on the roads.
By road, unfortunately.
Okay, one final point for me, and now we're talking to investors now. You just paid a dividend of 50 kobo, at least you just declared a dividend. To what extent do you see, can we anticipate that this will grow into next year? Because I was speaking to some traders recently, and they say that is one of the key drivers that they see for stocks in this third quarter. As companies begin to release corporate actions, that may be a catalyst for their shares. We've seen the impact slightly on your stock once you release the result. We saw it move up a little bit. But going forward, what should we expect in terms of dividends from Honeywell?
Well, let me clarify, first of all, that what you have read about is just an indication. We are yet to have our AGM. At the annual general meeting, the dividend will be approved or should be approved. And until it is approved, it's not yet declared. So what you have is an indication. But in Honeywell FLOURMILLS, we have to balance shareholders' expectation for dividends with internal needs for growth and funds conservation. So that is where we move. We hope that in the coming year, of course, with growth in profit after tax, shareholders can have expectation for higher dividends, but also because of the big expansion program, which we are currently undergoing, we also need to conserve a lot of funds. So within the mix of...
So you can't give me a number, but...
No, I cannot give you a number. All I can tell you is that profit after tax should improve significantly. And from there, anyone can make guesses as to what kind of dividends can come.
Well, best wishes, hopefully, as you move through this treacherous business, especially with the terror attacks in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Tunde Odunayo is the CEO of Honeywell Flour.